Hello, everyone. I am joined by Mike McDonald, aka the Bank of Timex, to talk a little bit about how the Bank of Timex has now transformed into PokerShares. Now, Mike, I think a lot of the poker community has been looking for the opportunity to be involved in staking some of the best players, but that really wasn't an opportunity for a long time. So talk to me a little bit. First of all, let's start with how PokerShares was sort of born.
Right. So the way PokerShares kind of came to be is, there's a lot of staking that goes on in poker, and there's a little bit to be said that oftentimes the guys who need staking the most aren't the best investments. A lot of the biggest winners have just been too busy winning to have to deal with looking for investors and stuff. So we thought that it would be cool to launch a platform that gives the viewer a chance to the fan a chance to interact with the pros. Like if you want to buy, invest $5 in Daniel Negreanu or something, Daniel Negreanu doesn't need your $5, but you can come to our website and, bet $5 that Daniel's going to win. So, if it's a $1,000 tournament, you put up your $5 and you have 0.5% of his action, basically. So we just thought that this would be an opportunity for people to, invest in poker players well outside their network.
So it's really interesting, for example, this tournament, already well before the main event had started, before the 25K had started, people were already betting on players who they think is going to win. And different than, say, a lot of the other, I think, companies which are specifically you're investing in, like that player's getting a little piece of your money. It's not like that here. This is more like you can gamble. Right now, there's the Mike Denatali-Kate Hall match going on, and players are betting on that as well, right?
Right. So to compare to other people in the industry, though, there's a couple other sort of players in the online staking business industry, and effectively every single one of them is like a middleman where they connect a network of sellers with a network of buyers, and they take a commission. And what ends up happening there is first of all, a lot of profits made by the site because of the the commissions they take, but second of all, it's not very broad, the group of people that you can invest in. In this, I didn't look, but I'd guess if there were 500 people in the main event here, maybe 3 or 4 of them were selling action on this website. Whereas our site, you can buy a piece of any of the 500 kind of. So it's a lot broader in that regard. And to go back to what you were saying about the Kate Hall Mike Denatali match, yeah, I've actually been attempting to watch that up in my hotel room, but basically the internet in Panama is so bad right here that I'm basically logging into Twitch and then reading the internet's fast enough to read the Twitch chat but not to view the Twitch video. So I kind of know what's happening 30, 45 seconds after everyone else. I know when
the troll news.
Yeah, exactly. I'll see 100 people in the Twitch chat being like, "Oh no, Kate is fucked," and be like, "Oh no, she probably she hit a bad flop, Mike hit a good flop," and they'll be like, "Oh no, Mike is fucked." I'm trying to read the Twitch trolls and figure out what's going on in the match. But yeah, a lot of people have been betting on that. Anything that gets kind of talked about in poker, it doesn't even need to be poker tournaments. We had bets on whether Joe Ingram would be able to finish his book within a month. We just kind of want to be a platform, for. If we didn't know about it in time, but we would have launched a platform to bet on Terrence Chan's fight earlier this week. We want to allow people to bet on anything poker related, and to just be, everyone's sort of go-to spot for gambling on gambling, I guess.
Well, and it's great because I think what it does also and what it offers is something that is more real in an industry that more or less, I guess, isn't real anyways. Meaning that, for example, you said that, one of the original concepts was that people's markup was getting so ridiculous that they're just making a profit, and it's really then it's not a good investment at all to be betting for poker players, to be betting on poker players. But you guys are creating numbers that really are relating to what's actually happening, who's actually betting on these people, and who's actually winning.
Exactly. It's a very different thing to just, put up the market, put up the highest markup that you think people are willing to charge, versus us in a lot of these small fields. We'll handicap the whole field, basically maybe take what we think everyone's perceived edges, maybe add, say in the main event here, for the final 12 players, add maybe 6% to each person's thing. So if we think you're, 1% to win the tournament, all of a sudden we price you as if you're 1.06% to win the tournament. We basically will take everyone and try to price them appropriately, which is very different from if you were to go through the tournament and ask every single person, say there's 400 guys in the tournament competing for, after rake, 360 buy-ins or something, and say, how many buy-ins are you getting back? How many buy-ins are you going to make? You'd come back and be like 1,500 buy-ins or something. It really doesn't.
Everyone's making money.
It doesn't add up. If you go through a poker tournament, probably 95% of guys think they're above average, and probably 75% think they're in the top 10%. And we're basically we're kind of the only guys putting our money where our mouth is and saying, look, we don't think you're in the top 10%, and we'll let you bet on yourself if you believe you are.
That's exactly what it is. Put your money where your mouth is. And I, for one, have loved it because it's also helping me to get a really clear perspective when I'm who's going to win this tournament, and I can go through and be like, oh, this guy might be a dark horse, but they know about it, but maybe we don't. So you guys definitely want to check it out now. Let the folks at home know, where can they find you? How do they get involved?
Yeah, so basically, our company, we're a licensed company out of Curacao, which as a result means certain countries we can't operate in. We can't take bets from people residing in the U.S. And maybe a dozen other countries around the world. But overall, we just operate basically in the same jurisdictions that something like PokerStars would operate. And then you go to www.pokershares.com. Our support team is very good. If you have any questions, you're not sure how to figure out what's going on the site, just send off an email. People will respond pretty quickly. And yeah, I'm excited to see more people get used to the site.
Seems like it's already exploding in just the short amount of time it's been around. So you guys definitely want to get involved. I do. Mama's trying to get involved for just a little bit of money. You know what I mean? I can't play these tournaments. I need a sweat too. Thank you so much for taking the time. Mike McDonald, I'm Sarah Herring. You guys are with us. Don't click away from PokerNews.com unless you're going to go to PokerShares.com, and then go ahead.